Under the gray skies that hung over the Dnieper, the calm of the vast river suddenly transformed into a deadly battlefield. New footage from the front lines shows operators of Ukraine's 34th Separate Defense Brigade thwarting a daring attempt by Russian troops to cross to the right bank of the Dnieper using small boats. In the video, several Russian boats appear to be moving swiftly, slicing through the water's surface in the false belief that they are unobserved. However, what they don't realize is that their every move has been captured by Ukrainian operators watching from afar. Behind the scenes, the 34th Brigade's drone operators wait for the right moment, observing wind direction, current speed, and target distance with deadly precision. As the boats enter an open, unprotected sector, a decision is made. Within seconds, attack drones glide low over the river's surface, nearly blending into the surging waters of the Dnieper. A powerful explosion occurred directly above the boat, striking the Russian troops while they were still in the middle of the river, with no opportunity to take cover or retreat. The previously calm river waters turned into a maelstrom from the explosion, signaling the failure of the Russian infiltration attempt to the right bank. This attack was not simply a tactical blow, but a powerful message that the Dnieper was no longer a safe passage for invading forces. According to the Ukrainian military, the crossing attempt was part of a Russian attempt to establish a foothold on the right bank, a high-risk move that had been repeatedly thwarted by Ukrainian defenses. The 34th Separate Defense Brigade, renowned for its expertise in drone operations and river reconnaissance, once again proved its dominance in this sector. But the footage also underscored the changing face of modern warfare. Now, the river, once a logistics route, had become a deadly trap, and small boats no longer guaranteed safety under constant aerial surveillance. Ukraine's superior information and technology superiority made every enemy crossing attempt a disaster. In the waters of the Dnieper, night and day no longer offered protection. Every ripple could be the final signal for those attempting to break through. And as long as the 34th Separate Defense Brigade remained on guard, the right bank of the Dnieper remained under Ukrainian control, guarded not just by weapons, but by precision, patience, and decisiveness on the battlefield. At the same time, in the Kupiansk direction in eastern Kharkiv Oblast, with Trump's peace negotiations looming, Ukraine's stunning liberation of Kupiansk has dealt a blow to Moscow's credibility and battlefield morale. Here, after weeks of repeated claims by the Russian political leadership that Kupiansk city had been captured, reality hit hard. The Ukrainians recently demonstrated that the town was not under Russian control at all, but had been quietly cleared of enemy forces, prompting President Zelensky to visit Kupiansk in person. Considering the Russian speculations, understanding the bigger picture is essential, and we will do a comprehensive breakdown of the Ukrainian operation that liberated Kupiansk from Russian forces, as its outcome turned into a direct and highly visible blow to Moscow's narrative, especially at a time when possible peace negotiations are underway. The operation began with a carefully planned campaign aimed at isolating Russian forces inside and around Kupiansk through devastating airstrikes. Ukrainian air power focused on preventing reinforcements from crossing the Oskil River and sustaining the Russian bridgehead north of the city, cutting the lifeline before moving in on the town itself. Geolocated footage shows a Ukrainian F-16 striking Russian troops near Hryonivka as they attempted to move across the river. Another concentration was destroyed near Holubivka when JDAM bombs from a Ukrainian F-16 annihilated a group mid-crossing. Ukrainian aircraft continued to hit ammunition depots, troop clusters, and drone operator positions, steadily dismantling Russia's ability to support its units already deployed in Kupiansk. Even the appearance of a Russian Su-35 on patrol failed to stop the campaign, as a Ukrainian MiG-29 delivered another JDAM strike on a building in north-central Kupiansk, where Russian assault troops had fortified themselves, and Russian combat operations were coordinated from. The second stage targeted the land corridor south of Dvorishna, which Russian forces had been using to infiltrate Kupiansk, where Ukrainians aimed to create a bottleneck around the town. Ukrainian assault teams moved in, clearing forest belts and structures one by one. Geolocated combat footage shows Russian soldiers being eliminated or captured, providing Ukrainian commanders with valuable intelligence on enemy plans and remaining force dispositions. Russia attempted to counter this by pushing reinforcements across the river, but at extreme difficulty and high cost. One of the largest attempts ended disastrously when a Russian assault group using all-terrain vehicles and motorcycles was detected by Ukrainian drones and destroyed, leaving 22 soldiers and 14 vehicles lost in minutes. Realizing that the momentum was rapidly shifting in Ukraine's favor, Russia tried a more indirect response by striking the Pechenihi Dam to halt Ukrainian movements and sabotage the flow of logistics to their counterattacks. Despite this, Ukrainian commanders were the ones turning geography into an advantage. Seasonal flooding caused the Oskil to overflow north of the town, creating swampy terrain that, combined with relentless ground pressure, turned Russian positions into isolated pockets on the brink of collapse. While direct Ukrainian logistics were disrupted, they could go around, while Russian positions and ground lines of communications were washed away directly with no possible fix available. As the situation deteriorated, Russian forces grew increasingly desperate. Small groups attempted to cross the swamps using improvised bridges made of pine logs, hoping to bring at least minimal support to their comrades inside the town. Ukrainian drone surveillance ensured these efforts were futile. The bridges and the troops using them were destroyed almost immediately. To limit political fallout, the Russian command imposed an information blackout on the situation in Kupiansk, but facts on the ground could not be hidden. Ukrainian forces succeeded in cutting all supply routes into western Kupiansk. Attempts from the eastern flank to break through toward Petropavlivka and relieve the encircled units also failed, as the Ukrainian command concentrated capable formations there in advance, making every Russian push slow, costly, and ineffective. While Ukrainian forces tightened the noose around remaining Russian units, with the enemy exhausted, the Ukrainian plan entered the next phase: clear the outskirts to prevent any escape and tighten the noose around the Russian forces.